If you're looking for things to do in Frederick, Maryland this fall, then you're in the right place. And whether you live here already or you're planning a visit, these are the top activities in and around Frederick to check out this season. So let's dive right into it. Frederick is a great place to visit in the fall. And while there's a ton of things to do in the city and surrounding towns, one of the best things you can do in fall in the Frederick area is check out the fall foliage at the local parks. And peak foliage this year is going to be between October 21st and 25th. So if you can make that, that's great. But don't worry, all these parks also have amazing views and things to do if you're outside of that window. And one of the most popular places to see fall foliage in Frederick County is Catoctin Mountain Park. Located just 25 minutes from downtown Frederick, the views here are worth the short drive. And on the way up to the park, you'll be on the historic Route 15 with views of the Blue Ridge Mountains in front of you the whole way. And this park has 25 miles of hiking trails, and one of the most popular hikes is the 2.2 mile out and back trail to Chimney Rock. And if you're looking for the best fall foliage views in Maryland, this is definitely one of the top spots to go to. It's a moderate trail with over 500 feet of elevation gain, so be ready for somewhat of a challenging hike for these views. And the next park you have to check out, which is right nearby, is Cunningham Falls State Park. And this has the highest cascading waterfall in Maryland, and because it's so close to Catoctin Mountain Park, you can knock these two out in the same day. Cunningham Falls Park also has some amazing overlooks to check out, and their most popular is probably Bob's Hill, which is a 3.8 mile out and back with over 1,000 feet of elevation gain. So again, a challenging hike, but worth it for the views, especially if you're going in that peak fall foliage window from October 21st to October 25th. But if you're not into hiking or you can't hike, don't worry, you can still get some amazing views from overlooks right near Frederick. Just 15 minutes to the northwest of downtown is Gambrel Mountain Park, and this has a roadway all the way to the top of the mountain to the overlooks where you can see out to the south towards the Appalachian Mountains. You can even see Sugarloaf Mountain from the viewpoints up there. It is a really cool place to check out any time of year, but especially during the fall foliage. And speaking of driving through Frederick during the fall, one of the best things you can do in fall in Frederick is to go on scenic drives. And one of the best scenic drives you can take is on the historic National Road. And this is now known as Route 40, but this was America's first highway built to help our nation expand westward. And today you can travel on the original first 170 miles of this road from Baltimore to Western Maryland by the Pennsylvania line. But I recommend starting in Frederick City, right in downtown, and going west through Middletown into the Middletown Valley. And that's because this is one of the most beautiful places in Maryland to go through. George Washington himself has said that this is one of the most beautiful places he's ever seen in his life. And he must have gone in fall because the views here are incredible in fall. As you crest over the first mountain range into Middletown Valley, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. And I highly recommend this drive. And the other scenic drive you have to take near Frederick is the Covered Bridges driving tour, and this is cool any time of year, but especially during fall. Northern Frederick County is home to 3 historic covered bridges, and all 3 bridges are listed on the National Park Service's National Register of Historic Places. You have the Utica Bridge, the Loy's Station Bridge, and the Roddy Road covered bridges, all crossing streams in Northern Frederick County and all within just 12 miles of one another. And the bonus here is that you're also going to see the fall foliage of the Blue Ridge Mountains throughout your entire covered bridges driving tour. All right, so we've covered some of the best views, hikes, and drives in the area. Now let's head back into Frederick for things to do in the city itself. And one of the best things to do in downtown Frederick is walk along Market Street, which is where you'll find most of the over 200 locally owned businesses in Frederick City. And Market Street is the main street of downtown Frederick, so that's where all of your shops and restaurants are, and it's just a really nice place to walk around in fall. And Market Street will connect you to the most popular park in Frederick, which is the Carroll Creek Linear Park. And this is one of the most unique parks in Maryland. It's a riverwalk style pathway with cool bridges, there's restaurants on it, breweries, and is home to some of the biggest events in the city. You'll find events like the Maryland Craft Beer Festival, and in fall you have things like Canines on the Creek and the start of the Sailing Through the Winter Solstice, which is a light show on the water with boats created by local businesses and charities, and it's become one of the biggest fall and winter attractions in Maryland. And if you're looking for more fall events outside of the city, apple picking, pumpkin picking, corn mazes, there are plenty of those in Frederick County as well. One of the biggest is the Gaver Fall Fun Fest in Mount Airy, where you have hay rides that take you out to pick your own apples and pumpkins, and my favorite apple cider donuts in the area. And then you have fall festivals at Summers Farm and also at Magnolia Meadows Farm, which has the largest corn maze in Maryland. And for the best petting zoo and fall fun festival, you can go over to the Fall Pumpkin Patch at Green Meadows Farm. By the time you're watching this video, you've probably already missed out on the Catoctin Color Fest, which is a really cool festival up in Thurmont, Maryland in Frederick County, or Oktoberfest, which is held at the Frederick Fairgrounds. But don't worry, those are annual events. You can go to them next year. Keep them on your bucket list for Frederick. Now, one thing we haven't been able to cover is the restaurants, the coffee shops, the bakeries that you have to check out in fall in Frederick. And this could be an entirely separate video, and I'll probably make one on this. But for now, I've made a list specifically for you of my favorite places to go for coffee, for baked goods, my favorite restaurants in Frederick, Maryland that you absolutely have to check out this fall. All you have to do is go in the description below and click on the link to download that list. It's a checklist you can go through and treat it as a bucket list on your next visit to Frederick. And if you are considering a move to Frederick, I would be happy to help with your move. That is what I do. That is why I'm here. So if that's you, whether that's 2 weeks away or 2 years away, go into the description below and click on the link to schedule a one-on-one consultation with me. We'll get a plan together for your move so it goes as smoothly as possible. And as always, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe so you stay up to date on all of my videos about moving to Maryland.